Welcome back to part three on how to run a multi-million dollar multifamily portfolio with Ashley Wilson and Rayna Mike. In the final edition of this three-part series, we will speak about having a strong team, the need for diversity in this field, and much more. Enjoy the show.
It's important to have a strong team around you to be successful in this business. Could you tell us a little bit about your team?
Our team is pretty incredible, of course, because why work with people who aren't incredible, right? You have the opportunity to work with whoever you want, so you should be working with the best. I originally partnered with my husband when we co-founded the company together, but my husband he's on a different trajectory in terms of what he wants from real estate than what I want. I want to build an empire. He's happy with doing a couple deals a year. So because of that, we made the decision. And also too, we were working with Jay Scott at the time. He asked if I would teach him about multifamily, which I did. And long story short is that I then asked Jay to partner with me because my husband was stepping down. And what I say about Jay Scott, if you all don't know who Jay Scott is, just Google him because he's pretty well known. But what I always say is, you've picked the right partner when you both are equally enamored by the fact that you get to partner with the other person. And that's how I feel about Jay. And I've been working with Jay in the partnership capacity now for a year and a half, but I've been working with him longer than that. And I still feel that way. Jay is a terrific partner. He has complementary skill sets, but we have underlying fundamentals are aligned. So in terms of our ethics, our values, our morals, doing the right thing, creating sustainable communities, we partner with local communities and charities, and we run events not solely for our tenants, but for the greater community, because we're focusing on every property being the beacon of the community. That's one thing that we strive to be. So fundamentally, we believe that. We also too are aligned, and I know this is not something that people often like to talk about because it's, one of those topics you're not supposed to talk about at a dinner table, but having alignment financially makes working together so much easier, because when you make decisions, you're coming at those situations from the same mindset that financial, whether stress or no stress, puts on that person. So for example, the thing that I like about Jay and I is financially, we are in similar situations with our family structure. So when we make decisions, it's not based on the fact that we need to be able to have this apartment put food on our table. So in terms of making the right decision, I think that we make those decisions clear-headed, and it never causes a rift between one of us because we need to sell the property or something like that. We don't have those constraints. So that makes it aligned in terms of our decision making. I know that's not always able to be achieved, but I do think that is a contributor to how we are able to work together so successfully. Because Jay and I have complementary skill sets, he would not enjoy asset management, and he would not enjoy sourcing deals. He works with our investors. He works on the business side of things, on entity structuring and HR. He does all of those things. I don't enjoy doing those things. As much as I appreciate all of our investors, I want to be very clear about that. I do appreciate it. What gets me excited, and all of our investors know this, and I think as an investor, as an LP, you should always want someone on the team who gets excited about the real estate. I'm that girl. I'm the girl who gets excited about real estate. I'm the one who gets excited about, you have a 2-year plan to do a value add. I'm going to achieve it in a year and 3 months. I'm that girl. That's the girl I am. Fielding phone calls from investors, that's Jay. That's what Jay enjoys doing. So in terms of just having that complementary skill set. And then we have several other team members as well. We have 2 board members, and then we have a recent marketing hire who started today, but we also have asset manager, an analyst, an underwriter, and she kind of is like a catch-all. She kind of just helps us at whatever, but she floats between all of our different businesses, and we couldn't do it without her. So we have a pretty strong team in the sense that they're all niche-y, like they're very good at the specific role they play.
Very similar story with Ashley's. My husband and my daughter and I started the company, and my husband was always happy with 1 or 2 deals a year, just like your husband, Ashley. And I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, which I am pretty good at doing. And we started expanding, and he kept pushing back, but he went with the flow. He was the guy who would go with the flow eventually, but he would give you the push. So we continued running, the 3 of us, with the support of personnel and staff on the ground and all that, until this year when I started looking at expanding the team. We have underwriters now, we have analysts now, and I believe we chose the excellent people. Some of them are more of the beginning stages of being excellent, but we are pushing them to reach that stage and encouraging them and mentoring them and training them. And I think that's very necessary when you are building a team, to allow that and show people that you value them in that way. The complementary skill set is absolutely a must, because not all of us love everything that is in our job description. And I'm with Ashley 100%. I am that girl that is excited about the real estate, not so much excited about answering emails and phone calls to investors. We love our investors. They love us. It's a total love relationship, but I am not that person that is so excited about that. So we have investor relations now that is handling that, and only if there is, which this year, fortunately, until September, I haven't been involved with, but if we had an issue, I would get involved with, which is, I'm so grateful. I'm so entirely internally grateful that they are fulfilling their obligations and they don't need me. I always say this, I would like to work myself out of a job. So if for certain areas I cannot be involved and it's running smoothly, then I would love that. And being financially aligned, I'm piggybacking on your talk, Ashley. Being financially aligned is crucial, that we're not in disparaging situations, that one, we have to close this deal because somebody has to eat, is huge. And choosing the right team, the right partners, I believe that's the key. I've chosen in the past some of the wrong partners, and I've learned my lesson that I am never to repeat those mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I've made many mistakes, but I don't like to repeat my mistakes. I don't like to be a remedial student. To keep going with my mistakes. I've made many, like choosing the wrong partner, as Ashley said, that is financially in a completely different stage. And we have to close this deal or it's a life and death situation. So try not to have partners like that.
I can't believe that Rayna and I haven't met previously, because
It's
we
incredible.
have so much,
It's
like
incredible.
it's like you're in my head, and I don't know if I'm in your head too. Like it's
You are
pretty
in my head.
astonishing. But even when you said like the like your goal is to, you know, to fire yourself, I literally define success by the number of times I can fire myself.
Same
because
here.
the more I fire myself, the more we're growing. So it's just,
Same
it's
here.
amazing. I sent you a
Same
message.
here.
I know this is not what,
Same
when we
here.
should be saying this, but Rayna, I just sent you a message for us to connect offline.
No, I absolutely want us to
So-
connect and get to know each other. And I have actually here in the hiding, I have one of the most incredible people that I trust and love and look up to. And he's been a mentor to me because Bill Sidhu is here in the room with me, and he is cracking up when you and I are talking right now. Bill is a developer. Bill is a guru, and I'm looking up to him. And the things he said to me is, you need to do this way so you cannot work so much. And here I am repeating him practically.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad the
Amazing.
two of you have been able to connect.
Well, what Rayna said earlier about how few women, there's less than 1% of women in commercial real estate. So to find someone who has a similar outlook, and I don't have as strong of a background as you do in a tenure, but to still be able to communicate on the same level and have the same outlook and be women nonetheless in this space, there's a lot of lack of diversity, and not even just gender related. And as I'm sure you all know as well, you've seen it, we've seen it. There needs to be more diversity in this space. Diversity creates better sustainable solutions, and it's more encompassing of where we need to go to and problem solving. So I'm just really thankful that you all put this together, that Rayna and I, selfishly, I'm very thankful because of meeting Rayna tonight, and you all as well. But we
Same
need
here.
more events like this.
Same here, Ashley. I am blown away. I am literally smiling from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I'm all smiling. You cannot wipe off the smile off of my face.
Well, yes, I hope that once this video is produced, that your leads will inspire other females to get into this field.
What a wonderful thought. What a wonderful thought. We are just absolutely here to help everyone that is interested, that wants to start a conversation. I'm sure Ashley and I are very open to talk to everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That'll be
yes.
awesome. You know what? With that being said, we will now go to a short question and answer section. Dan, what questions have you received?
I have a couple. I'm a big book nerd, so a little gem for everybody, not as major as Ashley and Rayna's, but if you go to pdfdrive.net, you can pretty much search any book that's out there, maybe on Amazon, and pretty much download it for free. With that being said, and I'll start with you, Rayna, what books would you recommend for somebody either already in the real estate space or somebody even looking to get started in multifamily?
One of the best books for any entrepreneur, I believe, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Not specifically for my multifamily, but for ethics, for culture, for integrity, for how to treat other people. That's one of my most favorites of all times. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I also currently am listening to, I am a huge Audible listener. I listen to probably hundreds of books every year because reading takes a lot more time versus you can listening to it, whatever you're doing at the gym, cooking, walking, talking to people, you can still listen to your books. That is one of my most favorites right now is Pitch Anything by Oren Cliff. And Mr. Cliff had raised several $1 billion. So if you're looking to raise capital, that's probably one of the best books you can read or listen to. And the next one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. or Pitch Perfect by Bill McGowan. I can go on and on. I love to read. I listen to books, as I said, hundreds of them. And I usually try to put like at least 3-4 a month. I like to have a goal that I read and listen to.
Thank you so much. And Ashley, what books would you recommend?
Shameless plug, I'll recommend my book, which is The Only Woman in the Room, Knowledge and Inspiration from 20 Women Real Estate Investors. Despite the title, it doesn't center around women poo-pooing on being the only woman in the room in real estate. What it speaks to is more their journey, knowledge and inspiration. And frankly, I get more compliments about the book from men than I do from women. There's just a lot of helpful tips on how you can build your empire. It's really inspirational because I tried to be very intentional about picking a very diverse group of authors. So there's 19 other women that co-authored the book with me, and everyone has a chapter and everyone has a different story to tell. But it's very diverse in terms of people's backgrounds and experiences and asset classes and their journeys and things that they had to contend with to be successful. So I recommend that just for any journey in real estate. With respect to multifamily, the best entry level book, I would say, I don't think it's high level, but in terms of best entry level book in multifamily is Joe Fairless's Best Ever Real Estate book. I haven't found a good multifamily, more advanced real estate, but in terms of something that's enjoyable to read, storytelling, and you can learn some lessons along the way, is Brian Murray's Crushing It. That's another good book. I second all of the books that Rayna just mentioned. The great thing about multifamily is, and I say this all the time, which is I don't think of investing in multifamily as investing in real estate. I think of it as buying a business that real estate's attached to it, because you're actually operating a business. So I think the books that would lend itself better to being very strong at managing multifamily are more business books. For example, like Traction is a great book to read and kind of implement the EOS system into your day-to-day operations with running the apartment.
Thank you both so much. Definitely was opening up a brand new window for each book. So thank you. And then we actually have a question from the audience. Crystal asked for both Rayna and Ashley, and I'll start back with you, Rayna. What were your biggest obstacles you had to overcome in your business?
I believe the biggest obstacle was creating the right team. Whether on the ground, whether it's our construction arm, whether it's our development arm, with all the right planners and architects, and that was the greatest obstacle for me.
Rayna stole my answer. It's the same.
I love it. I love it.
That's what happens when great minds think together.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Were there any other questions from the audience that they would like to ask before we wrap up?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead, Carlos.
My question for you, Ashley, is do you have any advice on that book? Because I'm actually writing something similar. It's called The 9 to 5 Real Estate Millionaire. And I'm actually trying to round up some investors, some people that had jobs that are, they don't have to be, super millionaires, but just a regular, it's just somebody that went from a job and transitioned into real estate and that's open to sharing their story. Could you speak on how that process went for you?
So the way I came about the book idea was that I was at Dave Van Horn, who is the founder of PPR Note Company. In case anyone doesn't know, he is hands down one of the smartest people I know in real estate. He's not in multifamily, he's in real estate, and he's a brilliant mind. He wrote the book on note investing for bigger pockets, and he's done pretty much every asset class. And he holds an event, or he used to hold an event every year called Mid-Atlantic Summit. He sold out every single year, 450 people. And it was just an incredible group of mainly accredited investors who attended, because he runs a local organization of accredited investors, and all of those people end up signing up for this Mid-Atlantic Summit. So the co-founders of the real estate investor community asked for all the women in the room to have lunch together. And we pulled together 2 tables of 16 women. And I just told you there's 450 attendees. So out of the entire audience, there were 16 women at these 2 tables, and we had lunch together. And I sat in awe thinking to myself, and I'm normally the only woman in the room, but like it really dawned on me, like, holy crap, like there's 16 of us sitting here, you know, having lunch together. And it's kind of sad. So the point is I went home and I said to my husband on the drive home, I'm going to write a book called The Only Woman in the Room. And I don't know what it's going to look like, but that's what I'm going to write. And I didn't know at that time that I was going to write about, I was going to bring in co-authors. So what I did is I was very intentional about finding women who invested in real estate. And I like interviewed them without them realizing I was interviewing them for the book. And I didn't know I was interviewing them for the book. I got to a point where I was like, it would be more powerful if this book served as a platform for women to use to say they were best-selling authors so they could be keynote speakers, and we had more women to look up to and more role models, you know, and their voices could be heard. And that's how it took the shape. But one thing that came out of the process that I think was hugely beneficial is interviewing people without them realizing that they're being interviewed for the book. And the reason why I think that was really beneficial, and it kind of showed me so much into these women's lives, was the fact whether or not they would be willing to be transparent and giving of information. And that was really important to me for the book, that I didn't want it to be a surface level book of just kind of telling your journey in real estate and not willing to show the secret sauce as to how you got there. It's really important to me that when you are providing information, to make the best use of the attendees' time. And what I want to do is I always want to command an audience, is for the audience to say, I really want to attend Ashley's talk because she always gives actionable information that I can take away and create change in my life and change for the community. And I wanted that same thing for the book. So if these people that I was interviewing, regardless of the fact that they're women, that's not the point. The point is that if those individuals want to really provide value, that makes the book stronger, right? And it makes it more likely to be a bestseller, and it makes it more likely to have a longer runway. I mean, I get royalties from the book, and they haven't slowed down. And I can't get over the fact that they haven't slowed down. But at the same right, they shouldn't slow down, because of the fact that the whole intention of the book was to provide value and to provide long-lasting value. So I would recommend, if you're looking for co-authors, that you secretly interview them and see whether or not you find them intriguing and you find that they're providing value. And if that value can translate, and then get together all your thoughts and kind of cherry pick the ones that are going to be the biggest punch to your book.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Carlos, I would love to work with you co-authoring. Ashley just gave me an idea that maybe we can co-author together.
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Carlos,
Thank you.
Yes.
Carlos, I put my information in the chat. Connect with me. I know many investors here in the Philadelphia area that has done exactly what you're looking for.
Well, I would like to take this time to thank Ashley and Rayna for coming out tonight and sharing all this valuable information with us. I wish them much success with their future endeavors. Cedric, would you like to share what we have in store in upcoming meetings?
Yes, absolutely. Next month, you want to be here. We have none other than Jerome Lewis. Jerome Lewis is a phenomenal marketer. He will show us and teach us how to get your business set on the right footprint out here in this social media world. He's published author. You don't want to miss it. because he's going to drop a lot of gems to help you further your business.
This will be valuable information for your multifamily investing. I want to applaud everyone for coming tonight because it shows that you understand that with the right building blocks, you can build the perfect foundation for your apartment investing career. Be safe and be awesome. Have a good night.